Hello, we are still using the same data set, which is the PE ratio, to demonstrate how to creating the histogram. So in order to create a histogram, you must watch the previous computer skill lecture related to creating our frequency distribution as you've seen here. Okay, so if you don't, you haven't watched that one, you have to in order to creating our frequency distribution correctly. Okay, so after we creating our frequency distribution, that is when we are able to, based on the frequency distribution, to creating the histogram. Remember in the lecture I said the histogram pretty much give you exactly the same information as a frequency distribution, but it's just more revealing the business insight. So therefore we prefer to use the histogram than the our frequency distribution. So in order to get in your histogram, you must have your frequency distribution created here. Okay, I know maybe on your textbook have different method, but I prefer using this pivot table method to creating our histogram. Okay, so now after you creating your frequency distribution based on the previous video, and what you need to do is select your data's the column for the classes and the column for the frequency, and you should not including your grand total because your frequency distribution should not including the total sample size, right? So this is my frequency distribution, and after you do that, go into insert. Okay, after going to insert, and now in this middle section you will notice called a chart, and we are clicking this one called insert statistic chart. Like it already look like histogram here. Sorry, not here. So we the method I'm using is using 2D column chart. Okay, we're going to the 2D column chart. I will pick the first one called the 2D column chart. Okay, now you can see it's immediately show me the bar. So the vertical axis is the frequency and the horizontal axis is classes. But the question that does this look right to you? Not yet, because there is a gap between my bars. As you see for the frequency distribution, each bar they next to each other, right? So each bar next to each other, so they should not have any gaps. How can we fix it? So the way we fix it is choose one of the bar. Okay, choose one of the bar. Left double click the bar. Okay, after you left double click the bar on the right hand side here, you'll be able to see that the series plot on. So this icon here, click this icon called the series options, called the series overlapping gaps and the class width. And so the gap width. So the gap width here is the gap between the bars. So you want to change this to 0. So select the number, type 0. And once you type 0 and push enter on your keyboard, so now you are able to get in our frequency, our histogram. Okay, like I said, this is the method I preferred. And I know we do have other methods to creating the histogram, but this is the method personally I prefer because it is coming from my frequency distribution and I have more control on what we have here.